we're live, and I think I've done it right. Joby sent me their wireless, or their PR company sent me their wireless. It died last time with no indication of low battery, which I didn't love. So if this cuts out and there's no audio, please let me know. But let me show you what we're working with. I shot a birdhouse building sequence down here. I've shot a handful of other things lately, and it's just a mess down here. So the way my studio works, over here I have my power tools, my sawhorses, camera bags, teleprompter set up over here, C-stand set up. I finally took the umbrella off of this because it was just in the way. I've got more tools here. This is my cabinet that holds all of my stuff, like electronics, all my chargers, dead batteries, charged batteries. These are my battery chargers, and just sort of a general little electronic admin area. Extra hard drives, and I keep chargers and extra cables. I call my treasure chest, which is this bird's nest here. We're going to get to that. And then I've got my camera cabinet with all of my camera gear in it. This is all storage for gear and my cases. Here we've got electronics and grip gear and all that kind of stuff piled up here, umbrellas and diffusers up top. And then over here, this is like more general art stuff. We've got all my spray paint here. Got all the extra Boom swag, like hats and shirts and zines and all things Boom are in there, extra stickers and stuff. My sewing machine and fabric and all that stuff. And then this is electronic waste, broken Christmas lights and stuff like that. So this is the basement studio, and it is vile and needs to be put back together. And so usually once every few weeks, maybe once a month, it gets like this, and I just have to take a day and reset it. And that's today, and you get to come along for the ride. And I want to talk about why I store the stuff, where I store the stuff, and what I kind of want the ethos of this space to be. I'm putting this disclaimer at the top. Ask any questions. Feel free. If my she's 6 months old. If my daughter wakes up, this stream ends, and I get to go be a dad. But so long as she's sleeping, we're just going with it. And so the first thing, I don't really have a workbench or something, but I have a folding table that I've bolted some plywood to make it a little hardier. That's sort of the crux of my setup, and that is somewhere underneath all of this. And so the first thing I'm going to do is uncover that so that we have a space to kind of spread stuff out a little bit. And so looking at it, I had a gig that was supposed to be in Huntsville, Alabama last weekend. And so I got out a bunch of gear to charge it that I hadn't used in a little while. And then at the last minute, the shoot got canceled. And so I have like my Ronin out, my stabilizer, which I don't really use that often, but I would have needed it for that gig. So like that's out here and needs to be put away. I've been recording music. I think I posted a video of, I've been working on 2 songs. One is a pop punk cover, and after sitting down here and screaming the vocal part for it the other night, I recorded an acoustic version with the raw voice, and I think I posted that to my channel yesterday or today. But so I have down here like my audio interface that I plug microphones into my iPad with so I can use GarageBand. That I usually keep upstairs, so I'll have to set that somewhere where I remember to take it upstairs. Don't know what that is. An empty plastic bag of some kind. There's a lot of stuff here that hasn't been organized well, that at some point I need to go through and organize better. But I found a use for my Pelican case that I didn't have a use for, my R40 ruck case. I put a bunch of stickers in it, and last night we had our annual Boom dinner, where anyone who's worked with Boom over the history of Boom I take out to dinner, and so we had that, and I got to bring a bunch of stickers and give them away to people that like stickers. So I was happy to finally find a use case for that ruck case. But I was looking for a USB device cable to USB-C, which I had one custom made. But that's why I got that bin out, because that's what I was looking for. And I didn't find it. I put a shelf above my desk upstairs in my actual office. And this is the remaining wood from that. And I might put a second one up. But I culled all my books, my whole book collection. I've been reading more this past year than I've read ever in my life. And I took all of my books and I got rid of the ones that I'm not going to read again or that I don't want anymore. And I sold them to Half Price Books and got $11 back. But I sort of went through my collection and made sure that I'm not just keeping extra books around that are taking up space, and that the books that I do like and do want to use are near me. But let me get the C-stand up out of the way a little bit. Also, we'll do a quick unboxing video because my Parrot Pro teleprompter, if you're aware of the Kickstarter that took forever and upset a lot of people, I backed it, and my teleprompter's here. Apparently, like, a bunch of stuff went wrong, and a bunch of people got really upset about how long it was taking to get their stuff, and they sent a bunch of angry messages. But it's a Kickstarter. Don't set expectations too high. What's up, Dane? It's lighter than I thought. Parrot Pro teleprompter kit. Between you and me, I hate these cases. They're every piece of gear, and Aperture is the worst. And I know I have problems with Aperture, but every piece of Aperture gear comes with some custom little case, and they're useless. No one's gonna put their light back in here. You put your light in your camera bag, but this is like vacuum form. Like, this is nice, and it's such a waste to just have this material. This fat, like, this is just landfill, and they make thousands and thousands of these, and it's just frustrating because no one actually. I don't know anyone that uses those, and it seems like a huge waste. And so here's another one where I bet most people will open this up. This is a massive kit for this, and I bet most people will tuck this into their camera bag and not need this custom cut foam and all this stuff. Like, this is just such waste, and it drives me crazy. But here's the Padcaster, which I have a teleprompter already. I have the Pad prompter, and I've had it for years here, and it can fit my iPad on it, and it's a teleprompter. It has the stuff to mount it to a set of rails. I typically mount it just to a stand. It has a quarter 20 on it. And so I usually just put it on a stand and just set it in front of my camera. But I have one of these, but it is kind of a pain to set up. And I wanted to back this Kickstarter because I liked the idea, and I wanted something smaller and more flexible. And I was eager to see it. And I mean, it didn't even take that long. It was like this spring, and it took a few months to get it. And yeah, people were just wildly upset, and I read those comments, and it's like, what are you doing? If your business is hinging on whether or not you have a teleprompter, then something's wrong with your business. If your business is hinging on whether or not you have a Kickstarter teleprompter. It does not fit an iPad. It is too small for an iPad, but opens up here, and it's got a little sort of piece of plastic that covers the the back here. But it's just got a piece of glass in there. You can see me, but from this way, you can also see me. I can't use my phone, and my iPad won't fit on here, but I guess they made it big enough so you could like lay an iPad on here if you wanted to. But it has this adjustable bottom piece. I thought it was adjustable. Yeah. But yeah, you can set a phone on there, and I guess there's a clamp somewhere to hold it on there. But I guess you extend it out, which then serves as a guard for the rest of the glass. If I extend it out, yeah, that covers it. So my goal is to have something that I can just rest on the camera, maybe a little easier, clamp it to it without needing a whole stand, and maybe that'll make teleprompting a little easier. What was that? Get out of here. A prompter for what it needs to be at least 3 times this size. The one thing that I was really interested with the teleprompter that I saw somebody post about was using a teleprompter to put a picture on it when you're doing photography of kids. Because if they look at the teleprompter reflection of the picture, they'll look at the camera. And so it's kind of a trick to get them looking at the camera. But my huge pad prompter, I can't do that. And I have a 6-month-old daughter. And if I can use this to take some better photos of her, cool. That'd be neat. So, yeah, we'll dive into this. I'll put it back in its silly case for now. And it sent me a Bluetooth remote to control a phone app for teleprompting, I guess. Okay, that's all fine. So, Padcaster, it arrived in a massive case, and I will deal with this on another day. So we're getting down to it. Studio space clearing up. I have yellow paper on here because we were doing this top-down shoot for birdhouse building, which, as you can see, there's tools associated with it. I mean, here's the birdhouse. But I'm very excited about this, and there should be a final draft of it this weekend. But over here on the tool chest, let's give you the tour. Just spin you around. So my tool chest here is split up, and everything's labeled Blaze and Keys, screwdrivers, hand tools, screws and nails, tape, glue, staples. So screws and nails is a mess, but most of what I do is in this big tote here. And I just put this whole thing in the drawer. And sometimes it fits. And I'm sure there's people, yeah, that's tight. I'm sure there's people watching who it makes them shudder, the state of this tool chest. But for what I use it for, it seems to work and work fine. Got a level here, which sticks on the side with some magnets. And yeah, blades, glue, tape, and a carpentry pencil. Here's the tape drawer, which has seen, I mean, everything in here has seen better days organization-wise. Oh, also glue goes in here. And then I typically keep my pencil in my little tool bag here, and my blade as well. So I don't build a ton of stuff. I do some, I think anyone who does woodworking would shudder at what I do because it's not woodworking, but I do work with wood. But this is the project we've been working on for the kids show. We're patching some holes in our narrative, and I'm excited to share all of that on the channel sometime soon, and the journey that it's been to get here. But that day is not today. So the last step here, we're going to come over, let me flip us back. Hope I don't accidentally hit the power button and turn off my phone. Brings back. Thanks for coming along for the world's shakiest live stream. I appreciate it. Yeah, so the last thing I shot, I needed this yellow paper, and I like the yellow, but it does just get crunchy and in the way, and I was thinking about like, oh, let's leave it up for a while. It's kind of fun, but I don't like it. Take my USB interface, set it on the steps so I remember to take it back upstairs. So my studio space is split. I have down here in my studio all my camera gear, all the stuff I need to record stuff. But my desk and my computer and everything is upstairs. And it's kind of nice. And there's times where it does seem inconvenient. But for me, it bisects my work. And when I'm editing, I'm just sort of able to edit. I have a very clean setup. And it's nice that I can come down here in the madness, film what I need to film, and then go back to my desk and not have the looming clutter all around me. And I work better that way. Would it be nice to not have to run up and down stairs with different takes? Yes. Yes, it would be. The fun thing about giant paper is if you have a 4-year-old, giving them a huge piece of paper and letting them color all over it is really fun for them before you recycle it. But I've got more of this to play with. I was really proud. I don't know if you can see it in the camera shot here. Up here, this is my storage for all of my seamless. We did a project where we needed like 6 different seamless colors, and they're huge. And after we shot the project, I'm like, what do I do with all this seamless? Because there's a ton of it. And they don't store well. You're not supposed to store them laying flat because they like get a flat spot, and then when you roll them out, they have like ribs in them. You're supposed to stand them upright, but my basement is not tall. No room in my house is tall enough to store these things upright. They're like the 8-foot ones, 9-foot ones, something like that. Like they're huge. And so I built this rack where I can like take pins out of this end here and pull one down, which is nice. But it is also just cumbersome enough where I don't like to mess with it that much. But we'll cut off this last little piece. It's a good art piece. As my family is constantly, we've been house hunting for a few years, and it's always interesting because like our needs for a house, like what are we looking for, how many bedrooms, bathrooms, that sort of stuff. There's things we don't have here, like a garage, like this weird basement studio space, and like as I look at other homes, it's like, do I want a home that has a better studio space? Or do I want to commit to like getting a studio space somewhere outside of the home? And for now, with a 6-month-old daughter, I love being home as much as I possibly can. And so I like the idea of a home studio. That appeals to me more than having a studio that's I've got to drive to, because I'm able to come down here and film for 20 minutes. And I mean, like right now, I have on my iPad, I'm watching her monitor, and if she wakes up, I can just go upstairs, and I wouldn't be able to do that, obviously, if I had to leave the home. Everything would be a little bit trickier. So I like, for now, having this home studio, but I wonder about having like a garage studio, like someplace with higher ceilings, and what flexibility that would give me. These comments, I have to come over here. Got the extra bedroom and move to the burbs. Yeah, it's tempting, but we love the city. We love where we live now in St. Louis City, and it's a great place, and the costs are decent in our little neighborhood, but it's the kind of thing where it's this house will not hold 2 teenagers, and we have 2 small children now, but that day's gonna come where it just won't cut it here anymore. But looking decent. There's stuff, like I have other things down here, like this is like I have a green screen here, and I just leave it on the floor for the most part, because I seldom use it, but I don't really have a good place to store it, so it just kind of sits down here in front of stuff. But I really should make a better home for it. And I need to go through my camera cabinet and make a pile of stuff to sell and get rid of and organize, but that day is not today. I just want to get this to where I can come down here and I'm not overwhelmed by the clutter, and I can make YouTube videos again. Because we got some exciting stuff coming up. Got the Aputure Amaran F22C overhead, which is a new addition to the studio. Hudson Spider Mosey is this guy. And then I've been using this Dell computer monitor. Here, I'll show you. This massive, like 27 inch. It's not a like color accurate monitor or anything like that. It's just a big monitor, and I plug my cameras into this so that when I'm at my little studio setup, I can see what I'm working with. But it didn't take that much to get this back to a usable status, and I'm pretty happy with this. I think my next projects are going to be organizing the gear cabinet and probably selling even more stuff as I continue to pare down my kit, and then cleaning this off and getting this back to a usable space. But for now, I'm calling it because it's late and I don't want to do this anymore. Oh, I don't do this often. This is the last thing I'll share. I'll show you the photos that I have around my studio, reminding me of some of the fun stuff that I've been a part of. First, this is a photo taken by Dane Iwata of Iwata Productions. This is up in Lake Michigan, up on Lake Michigan in Glen Arbor. This is a behind-the-scenes shot from the kids show that we're working on. This was from a fire truck shoot in Tampa, Florida. Also a Dane photo here of filming some horses with, man, the original Ronin M. Come a long way since 2018. Another fire truck shoot behind the scenes shot by Brett Carlson. We've got me flying a drone in Burkina Faso, a little vacation. This was behind the scenes from a giraffe dancing video we made for the symphony for the kids book, Giraffes Can't Dance, and we danced through the Climatron. Very fun shoot. Classic publicity photo for the Hardy & Sons podcast, and this is a photo of a bird. That's the photo tour. That's what's going on in the studio. So thanks for hanging out while we cleaned up a little bit. And I think as I tackle organizing my camera closet, I want to make a video about it because I see a lot of YouTubers have camera gears. I went quickly past my wife. I see a lot of YouTubers like organize their camera cabinet. Like I see people use like these to put all their camera gear in it. It's like, that seems so silly to me to like have a drawer that you have to open up, and storing your camera gear in a way that you have to unpack it and pack it each time is crazy to me. Like I used to do that where like I would unload my bag every time, and then when I'd have a shoot, I'd put all the same stuff back in the bag, which was a chance to forget something, to not load something, and I had to go through this checklist, and I still go through a checklist. But now I keep my camera bag mostly packed, and then I can just grab it, do the checklist, and I'm not loading it every time. And yeah, but there's a lot of stuff here that comes on some shoots and not others. But we'll dive into this in a real video. Maybe not live, maybe live, I don't know. I don't care. I'm having fun with this stuff and having fun not overthinking what works and what doesn't. That's all I got. Thanks for hanging out, Dane. Have a great day or night or whatever, wherever. See you the F-22C is wonderful. It's incredibly versatile. To my surprise, I'm using it more than I thought I would, just because it's so light. Like, it's a perfect hair light, but also like to do top-down stuff. Here, I'll show you this before I go. Let me plug it in and turn off the overhead down here. Da-da-da. So here is the table just lit by the Mosey, and if we've got this little birdhouse on it, not great, but it's so easy to take the F-22C, drag it overhead, and turn it on, and instantly we've got just soft top light. And there's different settings. Oh, that's strobe. We don't want that. And the iPhone's obviously adjusting for everything, and as soon as it's a color, it's trying to balance it to be a different color. But it's super handy to have, and I'm just impressed at how thin and lightweight it is. But yeah, maybe I'll make a review of this thing. But between this light and that light, I feel very good about quickly setting up interviews, better than I could before. Compared to like having a 120C or something that you've got to like put a softbox on and stuff like that, I can so quickly get to good soft light, which is what I'm always trying to do. I think it is worth the $900 for the time saving. Now, I got it for $500. Like, they were doing a huge sale on it. I got the 2x2 RGB version for $500. I like it more than a Quasar because I feel like it puts out more light in a more usable way. I love my Quasar tubes, don't get me wrong, but having a big flat light, like a Quasar tube can't do this. It will look different. You'll get shadows because it is still a single point along one axis. And granted, you can use two. I mean, you can work around with anything, but the quality of light that comes out of this, and as quick, like a one stand setup, is just really easy. And the other thing is the ballast has this like 10-foot cable off of it, so you can string this up, but it also comes with another 10-foot extension. And so like you could plug this in and have the ballast be 20 feet away, and so you can really like tape this to a ceiling. You can do so much with this little light. I have this like thick box on it, but it's just a thin pad. The actual light is really thin. So it's really easy to get at places and to quickly put it next to somebody's face, and I find that it gets me to my final shot faster than a Quasar does. Quasars pack up smaller, obviously, and I think the Quasars are brighter for the size. Like, there's more brightness per square inch with a Quasar, but I still have to do something to it usually before it gets me the light that I'm looking for on something. Lovely tangent. But I also haven't really tested this much outside. I've only used it on one shoot outside of my basement studio here, so I don't have a ton of field testing of it, so that's why I haven't made a review yet. But that day will come. We got some stuff coming up next month. That is all I got. Have a great day or night or whatever, wherever. See you later. Bye.